All right, welcome everyone to this One Time in Summer Camp. I'm one of your hosts, Jeff Thompson. I'm here with my two co-hosts. I got John.
Hey.
And I got Aaron.
That's me.
Yeah, we're going to start off with a fun get to know you question, and this is one I actually ask in a lot of interviews, just because I like to see how people think on their toes, because it's super random. So my question is, if you were a part of a car, what part would you be? And why? Just to really bring it home. I will go first. I'm Jeff Thompson. I am the current program director at Lutherdale in Wisconsin. I also worked at Sugar Creek in Wisconsin. And if I were a part of a car, I would be the windshield wipers, because I like to make sure we're going in the right direction. We can all see where we're going and not getting blind with stuff.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That he likes cleaning your windows.
And just something about windshield wipers, though, cleaning the rain off is so satisfying.
Rhythmic.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
All right, Aaron, go ahead.
Oh, sweet. My name is Aaron Colwick. I'm the former program director at Briarwood and at Camp Stoney. And if I was a part of a car, I would be the radio. Because I really enjoy music, and I think it makes people feel comfortable in whatever setting they're in, and I like to make sure that everybody's happy and that we're kind of good, and we can find a compromise pretty much in any situation. So you can kind of make a good mixtape, that kind of thing. So I think that applies to me.
You're also really loud and sometimes annoying. So,
and sometimes I'm really quiet, and it kind of brings you in a little bit, and then boom, out of nowhere, big bass drop.
And then you also said tape, and it made me think of old tapes. You're old too.
Hey, good point.
I'm not ashamed. Mixtapes are awesome.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Hey, where's your stein, brother?
Yeah.
Right here, man, with a fancy metal
You got a straw in it.
I got a metal straw.
Way to save the
turtles.
I just bought metal straws today. Yeah.
So, funny story about mixtapes, real quick. Some buddies of mine, just a few years ago, we used to drive up to Ohio every year to go visit family and stuff and go play some golf. It was fun. Escaping Texas weather in August and go play golf in Ohio.
Come to Wisconsin instead. Come on.
And so, my buddy has family up there, so we were visiting his family. But this one time, we were driving a friend's old Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it had a tape player in there. So I went to one of the last Radio Shacks in our area and bought some blank cassette tapes. I went and found my old stereo, and I made a mixtape of nothing but 80s hair metal rock.
That's amazing.
It was hilarious. And so that's how we started our road trip in 2015 or 16, whatever that was, with a mixtape.
Wait, Aaron, were you alive in the 80s?
Yes, I was, Jeff.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
What are the 80s?
Yeah.
Well, the 1880s were a fine time for America. Anyways, John, introduce yourself.
My name is John. My name is John. I am the former program director at Luther Heights Bible Camp in the lovely state of Idaho. Looking at a map of it right now above my desk.
Of Luther Heights or Idaho?
Yeah. Both.
Nice.
It's Idaho and Luther Heights is right there.
Oh.
What was the get to know you?
If you were part of a car.
Part of a car. If you were an
No.
80s mixtape, what song?
I would be the song "What Is the 80s." And if I was a part of a vehicle, I would be the cup holder. Because you can always find me holding the cup.
What?
Like a cup of something.
Didn't you just say a little while ago that you lose Nalgene's and stuff consistently?
All the time.
You did say that, yeah.
That's why I have to hold them.
That's why he has cup holders.
I've
so he
always
doesn't
got to
lose them.
hold them.
That's true. I get it.
I would be the
That's
cup
good.
holder.
Nice.
I like that. I like that question, Jeff. That's good.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
a
I
good
get some
one.
really
Wait,
interesting answers in interviews with that, and some really bad answers too. To be honest,
What are the bad answers?
Give me one of the worst.
Yeah.
Man, what was... I feel like someone said, like, the seat because they like to just relax. It's like, okay,
Perfect.
cool. Can you elaborate more? Like, it's just when they say something and they're like, because it is this. It's just,
Yeah.
those are the worst.
I would be this part on the car because that's who I am.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Exactly.
Good interview.
Thanks for sharing about yourself in this interview.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well,
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying thank you guys for sharing. I think we're turning over to John. You have our hack, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear that hack.
I came up with it as we were sitting here talking. Mine also has to do with interviews.
Ooh,
good.
Pertaining more towards the people doing the interviews, especially the directors, program directors. We're running around a lot hiring folks, and so we do a lot of interviews, and they can get very monotonous. So that was part of my hack. Have a fun question on there, something that'll catch them off guard, because you'll be able to see them thinking on their feet. You also might get some really terrible answers and realize, no, you don't want that person at camp. All because of them choosing to be the windshield wipers on a vehicle.
Hey now. That was a good answer.
Plot twist, that's how he became the program director.
It actually is. They asked me that.
It's in his job description.
I am the windshield wiper of camp.
I wipe the bugs off of camp. Yeah, that's my camp hack. Just have some fun stuff in your interviews because they can get boring, but also you really find out a lot about a person when you surprise them with things.
That's true. I think that's a great part to really understand. Like you know, working at camp, you have to think on your feet consistently, and you have to like not panic. And so if you see someone freeze in that moment and they really can't give you a straight answer, that says a lot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't mean they're bad, and this might be something they have to work on.
Do you guys have any?
I mean, there's a lot of the kids that we're interviewing are just that. They're kids. And this is probably one of the first interviews they've ever had. So it can be
so true.
a little easy on them. They'll probably never get an awesome interview like that again. But yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Do you guys have any like fun questions you like to include? I mean, why not share them if you have any? Like the car one, if there's anything else you'd like to ask. I always love to hear just silly questions that you might bring up.
Right. Well, my former executive director, Kelly Probosky, liked to ask them what their favorite joke was.
All right.
So we got a lot of really good jokes, and we got a lot of next question.
Did you get any inappropriate jokes? Like, maybe you shouldn't have said that.
For sure. There's some inappropriate ones out there. Not very many. I would say like maybe 1%, 2%. But
I didn't have any I didn't have any like silly question stuff, but I would ask them like, tell me one of your favorite stories about like what's happened to you. Like, what's a story you love to tell about yourself? And I think what that would always show me is like how well they can be passionate about something that they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we would always talk about that in staff training. Then like the reason we review like our lessons and our Bible studies and stuff is so that you can know it. And then it's easy to be passionate about something, rather than like reading it off a piece of paper. But yeah, you'd get the people like, I don't have any stories about myself I like to talk about. And you're like, cool, this will be a fun summer for you.
Let's really throw you out there. I will say that there's been a couple of people that I've had absolutely just straight line. I don't remember anything about their interview other than it was very bland.
Yeah.
Who have turned out to be some pretty amazing people. So amazing people and amazing staff members. We kind of take a chance on some people. And
for sure.
I feel like most interviews just like blend together after doing so many. Like the
Oh,
last
dude.
7 years of interviews, like
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Ugh.
very
Well-
few I remember. And it's like one little piece, like I remember this one person said this one thing
Yeah.
that was just
Right. Well,
ridiculous.
that's a good lesson. Just again, camp is applicable to like most life skills, but like it's something you should remember. And anyone listening, if you go out to an interview, like you need to make yourself memorable.
Yeah,
Like
you do.
that's
Mhm.
they're interviewing, at least 4 or 5 people, probably more than that if it's like a big position, and they have to narrow you down. You have to be like, oh, this is the guy that blah blah blah. Even if it's like you wore a specific tie that stands out, it makes you stick out, man, in their memory.
Don't wear
Yeah.
any clothes.
Yeah, great camp
Sure.
hack. Yeah, don't wear clothes.
I will remember
don't
that.
Don't wear clothes.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
you should come work with kids. You seem like you're, just very comfortable. That's great. Oh man, that's my hack. That's our
Nice.
hack.
I like it.
Group
That was
hack.
good. That was good. I will add. So one question I always like to add in interviews. I think it's like my favorite one to ask because it always really gets them thinking. Is I ask, if you could play a board game with anyone from the Bible, who would it be and what game would you play? And sometimes,
Wow.
like, I've had
That's
people like
huge.
stare at me like, I have no idea.
What's the
I
Bible?
would play Monopoly with Joseph because I feel like he's really good at hoarding his resources.
Hey. Some people go the route like, oh, I just want to play with this person because they have such an interesting story, and I want to just like talk to them while we play a game for fun, which is
Yeah.
fine. Like I tell them I'm open to any answer, just don't use Jesus. That's cheating.
Yeah, I want to play Go Fish with Jonah.
In the belly of the fish or outside afterwards.
I don't know. Got to meet people where they're at, so probably in the fish.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I like it.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Yeah. Aaron, we're going to turn it over to you. You've got our story for the week, and it better be about interviews because both of ours were, and it'd be really disappointing if this isn't.
Super cool. It's not.
Ooh, that's good. I'm glad that it is.
My story is actually not silly. I'm sorry to say, it's one of the more like this is a serious thing that happened kind of thing.
You
But I
breaking
will
up with
accept
us?
silly answers. I am not breaking up with you. I would never break
Oh.
up with you guys. So this happened. I'm gonna pretty much leave all locations and names out of this one for the sensitivity of how it is.
Cool.
So it's the middle of the camp season, and we have a small staff comparatively to a lot of other camps, and so we're kind of making it week by week by week. And then at one point, one of the male counselors, their grandfather passes away.
Ooh.
It's tragic, and it happens towards the end of the week, so he ends up leaving to go attend to family stuff, seeing family, funeral, that kind of thing. He's gone for about a week because he has to travel out of town. When he comes back, he is a completely different person. Normally, this individual was kind of like, he was kind of the cool kid, and like he was a little rough around the edges here and there, but he was fun, energetic, and everything. When he came back, it looked all the wind had been taken out of his sails. He was very lethargic, no energy with the kids, and unfortunately, it was up to kind of his co-counselor. She had to pick up a lot of that, extra weight to deal with these kids, and it was our biggest week of camp. Yeah, it was rough, and so we were doing our staff meeting one of these mornings, and he was the counselor that was like watching all the kids, making sure they're cleaning and stuff. So we had staff meeting without him, and she broke down. She's like, I am so overwhelmed. He's not doing anything, and I feel like I can't tell him to like do more because like I'm trying to be sensitive to his predicament and like what he's doing and stuff, but I'm at a loss. And since it's our biggest week of camp and we're a smaller staff, we're stretched pretty thin. So that's where we're at. Pretty short and sweet and quick to it. What do you do in that situation?
Ooh, that's really tough. That's one of the reasons we probably hired that person was for his energy. Um, and to have that gone just like that and not knowing how to support him can be tough. So I think for me, I would start off with just a conversation with them. Say, hey, how are you doing? You had a big life event happen last week. How are you doing? And eventually talk it around to how you can support them and see if there is a way working into that conversation where you could say, hey, we noticed that the wind is out of your sails. We really need you this week. Let's pick it back up and kind of give them a buck up camper, but also let them know that you're there to support them.
Mm-hmm. For sure. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, that's hard. I feel like I've experienced staff members leaving for funerals and doing all of that, but the whole coming back and being different and bringing down the rest of the community is hard. I agree with John that I would sit down with them, talk to them, and kind of just check in and see how they're doing. But also, you gotta let them know like they're affecting the rest of camp and the other staff members, and that their behavior isn't in a bubble. Like it damages the whole community. And honestly, I'd probably be pretty strict and say, hey, if you can't get it together, like I can't have you with these campers. I can't have you making more work and taking away from these kids' experience, because it's about the kids. And if you're bringing down the other staff, you're going to be bringing down the kids as well. Like that behavior is going to be rubbing off. So framing it in that way, we're like, we're not angry with you. We're not upset with you. We understand what you're going through. If you need more time, we'll give you more time. But if you're going to be here, I need you giving it 100%. I'd probably frantically be making phone calls as well to past staff members. Like, hey, can anyone come out on a moment's notice? Or, hey, we're going to split this cabin up and you're going to join up with another cabin and be extra large and we're just going to figure it out. Like, I'd be thinking through all the situations if this person did decide to leave, because that's probably what I would push them towards, just because if they're like that, man, I don't know if it's going to improve. It just
for sure.
It's hard. That's a hard spot to be in.
And it could, again, if you hadn't sat down and talked with them beforehand when they got back, there could have been something else that came up.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't just, maybe it could be a compound of different things. And I think checking in with that person, and then also being the boss side of it, saying, we do need you this week, and if you can't do it, let's move on. And maybe you should go home and get some more rest and be with your family during this time.
Right. That's kind of more or less what happened, kind of. So she broke down in the middle of staff meeting, and we're all kind of like, we knew that he wasn't really himself, but we weren't exactly sure to what level it was. And apparently, like, even when they were going to do like archery or things like that, like he would just sit there, like not talking to the kids. He would just stand there. So there was a one-on-one with him and leadership staff, and it was kind of what both of you had said, like, hey, we definitely feel for you in this situation. If you need to go home, go home. Like, it's okay. It's not like it's not like you're getting fired or anything, but like if you're really not in a mental state to do this, you need to go take care of yourself. But at the end of the day, like, we have a responsibility to these kids, and we have to make sure that their experience and safety and the whole package is being taken care of here. He tried his best for the rest of the week. We kind of moved some staff around where, like, if they were going down to archery, a few of the guys would sacrifice their breaks to go down and be with them. There wasn't, Jeff, to your point, there really wasn't anyone to like come up and help. So we basically all kind of helped pick up his slack a little bit. During the weekend, he basically, through one event after the other, like he left. And so by the time Sunday morning rolled around and we came to staff meeting, it was, hey, he's gone home and he won't be back. It was just too much. And it was really unfortunate, but it's kind of like what you guys said. Sometimes the decision has to be made of like, I know you think you can do this right now, but your behavior and the way that you're acting kind of lets me know you're not okay. For the benefit of everyone, not just the campers and the staff, but for yourself, like you need to go home.
Yeah.
And that was a really hard lesson, but I think for those listening, this story is a good example of sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. Like a lot of our stories revolve around like, hey, everything ended up okay. This did not end up okay. It was a hard time, and we were short-staffed for the next few weeks. Like there wasn't anyone to take his place. We were just working harder. And that's just how it had to happen. But in any job you're in, especially if you're in the camping world, like you have to be prepared to make those tough decisions at a moment's notice for the sake of the program and the safety of your campers and staff.
Yeah,
absolutely. That
that hit John hard.
Really,
yeah.
No, that's really, really tough, and I think a huge shout out right now to the staff members that we've had and all those that do work at camp. You're giving up a summer of your life to come up and give your all to make the week for some campers, and real life is still happening while you're there. Camp may feel like a bubble and all this fun energy, and then you go back home, but life is still happening, and so there can never be enough thanks for all the work that staff does. But sometimes it's okay to know when it's time to step back away from camp and to give your energy to your personal life too.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know of any other like industry where the needs of the employees come at such a high standard. Like camp is really unique, where anywhere else, like you'd be fired for not pulling your weight and like being down, you'd be gone, your job would be over. But camp's the one place where like you get that grace, and it's the staff want to work with you and say, hey, let's figure this out. If it's not right, you can go, but we want to do what's best for you, but also what's best for the kids. So,
dude, I love that. I love that you said that. That's so good. That's it. I'm just I'm affirming you, Jeff. That's it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks, Aaron, for sharing that. Yeah, that's a hard story. It's a hard place to be in. But like John said, like props to all the staff that picked it up, and every other camp. I'm sure everyone listening, you've probably had a week or a summer like that where you've picked up the slack and you have been there, but also times where like you've been the one dragging and someone else has lifted you up. That's what camp does, is we support each other. So, and
we want to hear those stories.
Yeah,
share those with us.
And how you can share those with us is really important. We do have a Facebook group. You can find us, our Facebook page, not group, words. This one time in summer camp, find us on Facebook. You can message us or comment on our page, anything like that. You can email us at this number one time at summercamp@gmail.com and email us your stories, camp hacks, whatever you'd like. Just say hi. We also have a phone number that you can call in. Leave us a message. We still haven't gotten any. Come on.
Oh,
people. No. Leave us a message. We feel horrible. I'm just going to start calling it and like doing different voices if I have to. So we at least have friends.
What's that phone number, Jeff?
The phone number is 262-885-1551. Give us a call. Leave us a camp hack. We'll play it on air so you'll hear your voice. If it's a story, we'll play it and interact with it and do all that fun stuff. That's That's it. Just call the voicemail, please. You won't tell us there'll be a voicemail.
We want to use it so bad. Like we were like, oh yeah, we'll put someone's voice on the air like a radio show, and now like nobody loves us and wants to call.
Oh, come on.
Like, do I have to bribe my wife to call in or something? Or
no, I'm calling out Logan Gooch right now.
Logan.
Seriously.
You need to call us.
I don't think Logan listens to us, y'all.
He's commented though on some of our posts about listening.
Just because he comments on the post, just sees that we posted something, is like, oh yeah, you guys totally rock. Like that's all he's doing. I'm calling him out. I don't think he's listening. Logan, prove me wrong.
We're betting on this. John and I both think you're listening. If you are, you need to call us. Prove Aaron wrong.
Prove me wrong. If
2 out of 3.
If you call before the next episode, John will do the podcast shirtless.
Yes,
Ooh.
he will.
Again. Wait, what? I'll do it shirtless?
Yeah. For our two
You heard it
people that
here.
watch
John
the
said he
YouTube.
would do it shirtless. All right. Well, this has been This One Time at Summer Camp. Thank you all for listening. And make sure to leave a review. Give us the 5 stars because we're great. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Bye.